UFC Perth Prelims. Unbeaten Navajo Stirling tops Rodolfo Bellato and improves to 8-0. Navajo Stirling took another small, but not insignificant step forward in his march through the Ultimate Fighting Championship light heavyweight division. He outstruck former Legacy Fighting Alliance champion Rodolfo Bellato to a 3-round unanimous decision in their featured UFC Fight Night 260 prelim on Saturday at RAC Arena in Perth, Australia. Scores were 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28. Stirling, 8-0, 3-0 UFC called upon front kicks to the midsection and occasional 1-2 while surprising the Brazilian with a takedown in the second round. He fired hooks to the body from both hands, but tacked legs when the mood arose and kept himself out of danger. Bellato, 12-3-1, 1-1-1 UFC, remained competitive, snapped back his counterpart's head with multiple jabs, and zeroed in on lower extremities but failed to generate the output needed to turn the tide. Meanwhile, ex-Stealth Fighters League title holder Cameron Rowston, https://Cameron Rowston at Cameron Rowston 2393881, disposed of Andre Petroski, https://Andre Petroski 215253, with punches in the first round of their middleweight affair. Rowston, 13-3, 1-0 UFC drew the curtain 241 into round 1 and now finds himself on a 5-fight winning streak. https://sharedog.com/videos/recent UFC Perth highlight video Cameron Rowston busts up Andre Petroski 22868. His performance was marked by a draw in round 1 and a commanding finish. Petroski, 13-5, 8-4 UFC, tested the water with leg kicks but walked himself into peril. A Eugene Behrman protege. The 6'4" Rowston decked him with a check left hook, powered into top position and pounded away with punches until referee Steve Percival arrived to wave it off. Petroski has suffered back-to-back defeats for the second time as a pro. Further down the undercard, former Superfight MMA champion Jamie Mullarkey, https://www.sherdog.com/fighter/Jamie Mullarkey, 6810, nailed down his first win in over 2 years with a unanimous decision over Rolando Bedoya, https://www.sherdog.com/Rolando Bedoya 17807, in a 3-round lightweight tilt. All 3 cageside judges rendered the same ruling, 29-28 for Mullarkey, 18-8, 6-6 UFC. Bedoya, 14-5, 0-4 UFC, was largely ineffectual through 2 rounds. Mullarkey alternated between boxing and wrestling, forcing Shoot Box Rep out of his comfort zone. He rounded up Bedoya in the first round, progressed to the back, secured his position with a body triangle, and hunted chokes. However, momentum shifted late in the middle stanza, where fatigue took a bite and Bedoya trapped him on the feet throughout the final 5 minutes, unleashing multi-punch bursts, connecting with a spinning back elbow, and calling upon a punishing jab. Mullarkey flexed his resilience, answered in spurts, kept his feet moving, and withstood the rally. Bedoya remains winless as a member of the UFC roster. Elsewhere, American top teams Michelle Montague, https://www.sharedog.com/fighter, Michelle Montague, 326995, kept her perfect professional record intact and made a successful octagon debut with a unanimous decision over Luana Carolina, https://www.sharedog.com/fighter, Luana Carolina, 18719, in their 3-round women's bantamweight affair. Montague, 7-0, 1-0 UFC, swept the scorecards with 29-26, 30-25, and 30-26 marks from the assigned judiciary. Carolina, 11-5, 6-4 UFC, opened multiple cuts, one near the hairline, the other near the right eye, with elbow strikes, but a second-round point deduction for an illegal upkick, and her inability to stay upright proved costly. Montage seized control in the back half of the bout and did her best work in round 3. There she completed multiple takedowns, advanced from a dominant position to the next, and piled up points with elbow-laced ground and pound. She eventually advanced to the back, and threatened the neck, but lacked the time to pin down a choke. Carolina's first setback since March 2023. Deeper into the prelims, Brando Petroski, https://www.sherdog.com/fighters/Brando Petroski 306625, put away fellow promotional newcomer Alexia Ellison, https://www.sherdog.com/fighters/Alexia Ellison, with punches in the first round of their heavyweight. Ellison 5-2-0-1 UFC, succumbed to blows 155 into round 1. www.sherdog.com/videos, highlight video Brando Petroski unloads on Alexia Ellison 22866. Petroski 5-1-0 UFC leaned into his 5-inch height and near 25-pound weight advantages as he proceeded to bully the American team over the cage. He connected with thudding leg kicks and powerful 1-2s, then turned takedown attempts from Ellison into offense. Petroski braced himself along the fence, scored with elbow to the side of head, forced his opponent to pull guard, assumed top position, and cut loose with punches until the job was done. Ellison's 3-fight winning streak was snapped. Finally, the surging Alexia Thainara, https://www.sherdog.com/fighter, rode repeated takedowns, suffocating positional control, and a grinding clinch game to a unanimous decision over Syndicate MMA's Loma Lookboonmee, https://www.sherdog.com/fighter, Konklak Supisara 27081, in their 3-round women's strawweight clash. All 3 cage-side judges turned in 30-27 scorecards for Thainara, 13-1, 2-0 UFC. Overmatched physically and technically, Lookboonmee, 10-4, 7-3 UFC, was a non-factor. Thainara executed takedowns in all 3 rounds and applied her ground and pound in full mount, side control, half guard, and full guard. On the feet, she trapped Lookboonmee in the chin clinch, where she kicked at her legs, knelt the body, and chipped away with close-range elbows to the head. Thainara, 27, has rattled off 10 straight victories. In other action, Colby Thickness, www.sherdog.com, fighter Colby Thickness, 8-1-1-1 UFC, outlasted Josias Musasa, 8-2-1-1 UFC, 0-2-0-2 UFC, to a unanimous decision in their 3-round bantamweight pairing, earning 29-28 scores across the board.